Oh, hello. What are you doing out there in the world? Oh, sounds like everybody's having a day then. So I'm going to get into this SSD kit. Did a couple videos earlier last week, and then took some time and built up the other kit as the manual as you built it all the way up. So I knew how everything kind of went together as it was supposed to. And then I took this kit and started building it up as I needed it to be built up. As you can see, this is a little different if you're looking at things here than what the actual SSD kit has you build. SSD kit is a 4-link rear, 3-link with panhard in the front suspension system, and these are obviously leaf springs. And 4 links and leaf springs and 3 links and panhards and leaf springs tend to not go together. What's going on, Tim? Well, like I said, this is going to be the, as it says in the description down there, the first kit, the full kit that I just told you I built over the last couple of days. That's getting put together with an RC4WD drive body. That's going to be a class 2 scaled out kind of, but a competitional rig, climbing rig, where this is just going to be what would be considered a daily driver. My dad had a 76 Blazer, mostly stock, 2 bigger tires and a big brush guard up front and a few other things. Nothing too extravagant, but it was his daily driver. And when I seen these RC4WD drive bodies, I had to do one. Thought about getting a kit, but I like this SSD kit and thought it would be nice to make things work instead of just buying things that are made to work. I enjoy the challenge of swapping and modding and customizing these things. So anyways, what we have here is the SSD pumpkin, which is supposed to be a driver's side drop, coming off the left side. So the pumpkin sets to the driver's side, but Chevy didn't have driver's side pumpkin. They had passenger side, right side drop pumpkin. So I had to do a little bit of modding. I bought the metal axle tubes. The kit comes with plastic axle tubes, but metal C-hubs and metal knuckles, and the spiral cut gears in the diff and everything else. But so what I did is I took the plastic tubes, put them back on here, and I had to mock them up. Plastic tubes, I got another set I can show you. I'll go over the stuff, but basically I had to mock them up to use this leaf spring setup. And one of these leaf springs are the RC 4-wheel drive super scale leaf springs. And you can kind of see they do look really good. And these are G-made U-bolts and the G-made perches, leaf spring perches from G-made. So I put those together with the RC4WD drive super scale leaf springs and did all my mock-up and set it up for leaf springs for my build. I had to do the same thing in the back. Now I went ahead and used the metal tubes because the metal tubes on the back didn't have the mounts. I did a mock-up build. I'm going to have to do a little modding here. And again, I'll be going over these 2 modifications. This one's pretty straightforward. The swapping the tubes, making the knuckles work properly. And if you notice a little bit, probably some people might notice that the steering is actually going to be behind the axle. I'm doing that on purpose. Panhard mount right now is upside down. That's probably going to end up going away. If I have to do further modifications so I can put these knuckles or at least spin them around so they're spun 180 degrees, I will do that. And I'm probably going to have to. I'm just not going to do it for the mock-up setup. I just want to get the axle and orientation properly set up. But I'm thinking I might be able to make this work. Just have to lose that panhard mount possibly. But we'll see. This is mock-up, so we'll get there. So anyways, axles are done. And then the tranny, when you build the SSD kit, it has you build it, of course, with driver's side drop off the transfer case. Transfer case sits, perpendicular 90 degrees to the axle out here, but that's not Chevy. Chevy Blazers had a right side drop and the transfer case was kind of clocked. It wasn't coming straight up. It's at an angle. So it took a little bit of mod work, but I am happy to say, with some fairly easy stuff, pretty simple little bit of modifications, you can take your SSD transfer case, tranny and transfer case, that is set up to be 90-degree right side exit, and you can modify it and turn it into, of course, it looks a little backwards there, but as I'm looking at it, you can see the case is upside down. This should be mounted to the plate, and I'm going to have to come up the mount, but you can see that this is set up, as a, I don't know how that video is going to show. To me, it looks backwards, but you can see that it is set up not only to be on the right side drop, so I can run the driver's side or the passenger side transfer or driver shaft up to the pumpkin on the front axle. Back is still coming right out the center, so that's fine. But I've got it clocked, just like the Chevys. So if you look at a picture of underneath of a Chevy transmission and transfer case, that transfer case is clocked to about the 4 o'clock position. If you come straight off, of course, that would be a 90-degree. This is actually down another 20 degrees, so maybe a 65-degree clock as you're looking at it. If you called this, if you called this point 12 o'clock, this would be about 3:30, 4 o'clock, maybe close to 4 o'clock on the clock. So yeah, it took a little bit of mod work, and this will be a second video that I'll go over. Breaking that out. Obviously, I've got the spacer installed here. No motor yet. Got to get my electronics. I'm using the 15mm spacer here to mount and push the engine forward a little bit. And obviously, when it comes to mounting this into the chassis and doing the plate, I'm probably gonna have to do something. And now one of the kind of other interesting things, because of what I'm doing, I'm pretty much not really gonna need the skid plate, because this is where all your links mount and then your transmission case mounts to. But I'm not using links, and the transmission case isn't gonna mount where this one's at. So I may not necessarily need this. I may be able to create a mount that will come across the top. And what I might end up doing, I might end up modding the heck out of this piece and using it. What I also might end up doing, just making a mount that mounts, across what would normally be the bottom of the transfer case, and mounting it to the chassis rail on one side or both sides. May come up with something a little bit different. But yeah, I'm thinking I can utilize these, mounts, which mount to the plate, actually on the top of the system somehow. But that's what modding is about, and that's the cool parts that I like. So anyways, at this point, I'm bringing it kind of up to date where I've gotten to in the last week and a half. I've been doing other things and just didn't run a video. No biggie. So I'm at the point where I need some steering links anyways. So, and of course, this will still be chassis mounted steering servo. So I only got to build my steering links right here. I'm not going to use the rear 4 links on this kit, and I shouldn't need the 3 links up front, obviously, because of the leaf springs. And the thing I haven't really looked into, and I think some vehicles did have it, I probably won't need it on this or use it, because this isn't going to be a quote-unquote crawler. It's a daily driver and light trail runner. It's going to look like a normal, what you would normally have as somebody driving it daily. So I just got to do a little bit of stuff here and put these links together and make that kind of easy. Shake up the stuff here and put this in, get it set up. Got a few things in the mail this morning. Got the mail coming. Got to listen for my garbage man. So I may have to jump away for a few minutes, and I won't start and stop the video. I'm just going to let it roll.